Hello, dear friends. The silent enemy that resides in the vessels of every second person over 50 is called a thrombus. It does not cause pain, does not make itself known, but can soon deliver a devastating blow, leading to a heart attack or stroke. Many of us spend large sums on expensive medications, unaware that the main enemy of thrombosis has already been found and is incredibly cheap. Imagine that one glass of a simple drink on an empty stomach can make the blood as liquid and pure as spring water. This recipe is not from trendy magazines, but was successfully applied by a wise Soviet phlebotomist who dedicated his life to vascular health. He believed that nature had already provided us with all the necessary means for a long and healthy life. You just need to know what and how to use. Today I want to share this valuable knowledge with you. This is not just a drink, but your daily step towards safety and lightness in the body that many may have forgotten. It not only thins the blood, but also gently cleanses the vessels of cholesterol deposits, restoring their elasticity. Just one glass a day, and you'll notice the difference. Ready to learn this simple secret to longevity? By the way, have you ever thought about the density of your blood? Just write yes or no in the comments. Your response is very important to me. If the topic of vascular health is relevant to you, support this video with a like. For you, it's just one click, but for me, it's a sign that I am doing important work. So, let's figure out together why thick blood is not just words, but a real and serious threat that cannot be ignored. Imagine our circulatory system as a network of rivers and streams that nourish every cell of our body. Blood is life itself. It is a river carrying oxygen, nutrients, and hormones while also removing waste. As long as this river is turbulent and full, everything functions flawlessly. But what happens when the water in the river becomes thick like jelly? The current slows, silt settles on the bottom, and blockages form. The same happens with our blood. When it thickens, its fluidity decreases. Doctors call this increased viscosity, triggering a chain of destructive processes, undermining our health from within. Every day, our heart is the first to be struck. This tireless organ, which pumps an entire lake of blood throughout its life, works around the clock, without weekends or vacations. He has to push a thick, viscous mass through vessels that, if laid end to end, could wrap around the earth twice. Think about that number. It is a colossal and exhausting burden. The heart wears out much faster, like a pump forced to pump a thick, viscous mass instead of light water. Hence the constant high blood pressure, which has become the norm for millions, the inexplicable rhythm disturbances, and ultimately, the sad diagnosis: heart failure. But this, my dear ones, is just the beginning. The most insidious and unpredictable threat associated with thick blood lies in the formation of clots. Our body is arranged very wisely. Blood platelets, known as thrombocytes, are our faithful defenders. In case you accidentally cut yourself, they are the first to rush to the site of the vessel damage, sticking together and forming a living plug, closing the gap and stopping the bleeding. This mechanism is vital. However, in the thick, slowly circulating blood, like in a sleepy swamp, these defenders begin to exhibit inadequate and aggressive behavior. They start to stick together and cling to the walls of the vessels without any injury or need. Thus clots form, those very thrombi that everyone fears. At first they are small, like grains of sand, but gradually, layer by layer, like a snowball, they grow, narrowing the lumen and hindering normal blood flow. A person can live for years, even decades, with these time bombs inside themselves and feel no symptoms. They may complain of chronic fatigue, constantly cold hands and feet, frequent headaches, or ringing in the ears. But often these symptoms are attributed to age, magnetic storms, the weather, to anything but the true cause. At this time, the thrombus continues to grow, and at a completely inappropriate moment, it can either completely block a vessel like a cork in a pipe, or worse, a part breaks off and embarks on a dangerous journey through the bloodstream. And here, unfortunately, disaster will occur. If this traveling mass ends up in the vessels feeding the heart, it can cause a myocardial infarction. If it goes to the brain, an ischemic stroke will occur. If he blocks the pulmonary artery, it will lead to thromboembolism, a condition that in most cases ends in instant and sudden death. Now you understand how serious and insidious this threat is. It is not somewhere out there, in the news or movies. It can ripen inside us right now. Unfortunately, with age, the risk only increases as hormonal backgrounds change. Especially in women, natural vessel elasticity decreases, and chronic inflammations and diseases accumulate. I don't want to scare you. By no means. My goal is to help you clearly and distinctly realize the invisible but very real enemy we are dealing with. Thick blood deprives our organs of normal nourishment and oxygen. The brain does not receive enough oxygen, leading to memory deterioration, a constant feeling of fog in the head, and decreased concentration. The kidneys cannot adequately filter the blood, causing swelling and other issues. Even the liver, our main filter, suffers from this. Our vision also directly depends on the condition of the smallest capillaries in the eyes, which get clogged first. Therefore, caring for the fluidity of our blood is not just a matter of preventing a specific disease. It is a matter of fundamental health and the quality of our entire life. This is the foundation of our active, energetic, and, importantly, safe longevity. The most encouraging part of this story is that this process can truly be influenced. We will talk about one of these wonderful means, a true enemy of blood clots. So, my dear ones, I am sure you are already intrigued to know what this miraculous remedy is that the old Soviet doctor valued so much and that can gently care for our blood. Drumroll, this humble yet powerful protector of our vessels is the very ordinary familiar tomato juice we all know from childhood. Yes, that's right. Don't be surprised. This is not an exotic fruit from a distant continent or an expensive superfood from pharmacies, but a familiar tomato juice, only natural, without added salt and sugar. It contains an amazing power that can counteract the formation of blood clots. And this is not a fabrication, but a scientifically proven fact. Let me explain in simple words how it works. Tomatoes, and therefore the juice made from them, contain unique substances that act on several fronts. The first and most important is natural salicylates. You are probably familiar with the name aspirin or acetyl salicylic acid. It is often prescribed in small doses to thin the blood. Tomatoes contain its natural equivalent. These substances have a remarkable ability. They prevent platelets or blood cells from sticking together. They seem to wrap each such little plate in an invisible film, making it smooth and slippery, preventing them from merging into dangerous deadly clumps. The blood becomes more fluid, easily and freely moving through the narrowest capillaries, delivering oxygen to every cell. But this is only half of the success. The second treasure hidden in tomato juice is a powerful antioxidant called lycopene. By the way, it gives tomatoes their bright red color. Lycopene is a true protector of our vessels. He protects their inner delicate layer, known as the endothelium, from damage caused by bad cholesterol and free radicals. Imagine a perfect smooth tube through which water flows effortlessly. And now imagine that the walls of the pipe have become rough, covered with scratches and jagged edges. All kinds of debris will immediately start to stick to them, forming a blockage. The same happens with our vessels. When their inner surface is damaged, platelets start to cling to these scratches, forming a cholesterol plaque on which a thrombus then grows like a foundation. So, lycopene, this red pigment, like a caring master, polishes our vessels from within, preventing cholesterol and inflammation from destroying them. It eliminates the very cause and possibility of thrombus formation. Research conducted in European scientific institutions has shown that people who regularly consume foods high in lycopene reduce their risk of cardiovascular problems by almost 30%. Just imagine that figure. It's almost a third. And all this is thanks to one simple glass of juice. Moreover, tomato juice is rich in potassium, which is crucial for the normal functioning of the heart and maintaining blood pressure within healthy limits. It helps remove excess fluid from the body, reduces swelling, and lessens the load on our main organ. Vitamin C, also present in the juice, strengthens the vessel walls, making them more elastic and durable, like fresh rubber. An astonishing picture emerges. A single product acts like a full team of specialists. Some components thin the blood, others protect and restore blood vessels, while others support the heart and normalize pressure. That is why this wise Soviet phlebologist valued this simple remedy so highly. He knew that it was necessary to treat not the symptoms, but the causes, not just to stimulate the blood with chemicals, but to create conditions in the body so that the blood remained healthy and flowed naturally. Modern science has fully confirmed his brilliant intuition. So forget about complex recipes and expensive pills. Support is literally at hand, but like any potent remedy, there are rules and nuances. It is very important to know how to properly prepare and consume this healing drink to maximize its benefits and avoid harm. And this is what we will talk about now. So my dear ones, the most important thing is how to turn an ordinary tomato into this miraculous remedy. Please listen carefully. Every detail is important here. I want to warn you right away. Forget about packaged and bottled juices. 99% of them contain a huge amount of salt, sugar, preservatives, and other chemicals. Such a drink will bring not benefits, but only harm. Salt will retain water, increase pressure, and create additional strain on the kidneys, thus nullifying the entire healing effect. We need a purely natural product. There are two correct methods. The first and best is to make juice yourself from fresh, ripe, meaty tomatoes. The redder and riper the tomato, the more valuable lycopene it contains. For one glass, about 2 to 2,500 milliliters, you will need 2 to 3 medium or large tomatoes. The recipe is brilliantly simple. Wash the tomatoes well, remove the stem, cut them into several pieces, and simply blend them into a homogeneous mass. If you don't have a blender, you can grate them on a fine grater. It is not necessary to remove the skin and seeds, as they also contain many beneficial substances and fiber. But if you prefer a more liquid consistency, you can strain the mixture through a fine sieve. The second way, if there is no opportunity to prepare juice every day, you can find quality direct-pressed tomato juice without added salt and sugar in a store or market. Carefully read the label. The ingredients should only be tomatoes and nothing else. This is the very secret nuance that not everyone knows. For our main protector, lycopene, to be absorbed by the body almost completely, it needs a carrier, and this carrier is fats. Therefore, before drinking the freshly made juice, be sure to add just half a teaspoon of unrefined vegetable oil to it. Cold-pressed olive oil, flaxseed oil, or even regular unrefined sunflower oil with a characteristic smell is perfect. Mix thoroughly. This small secret significantly increases the bioavailability of lycopene. Without oil, it is only partially absorbed, and you will not get the maximum benefit. Now the most important rule: how and when to drink. Our healing drink should be taken strictly in the morning, on an empty stomach, 20 to 30 minutes before the first meal. On an empty stomach, all beneficial substances are absorbed into the blood more quickly and fully, without mixing with other food. The body, like a sponge, absorbs all the benefits to the last drop. Make this your morning habit, a ritual of self-care. Upon waking, drink a glass of warm water, and after 10 to 15 minutes, a glass of our tomato elixir with a drop of oil. It should be at room temperature. Do not drink it cold from the fridge to avoid stomach cramps. 1 glass a day, every day. This is quite enough to keep your blood in a healthy, flowing state. It's more important to have regularity and correctness in consumption than the dose.